Hi, Dennis Weiss, Eagle Communications. We're at Rolling Hill Zoo, which is our town today, and we're with Bob Jenkins. My goodness, Bob, of all the backdrops you've provided for us, I think this is my favorite.
Well, I'd be lying if it was otherwise.
Now that was a shot right straight across the bow.
There you
Bob's
go.
on today.
Yeah. Well, we got our new 3 lions in here a couple months ago. They've been on display since then. They're part of the species survival program
Right.
with the AZA.
We've talked about this every time I've been here,
Yep.
that this was going to happen. We're sitting in front of it happened.
Well, this is more than a year and a half in the making.
Yeah.
Okay. We had 2 brothers here, Matumba and Simba. Simba
Right.
passed last year, Matumba passed earlier this year. And basically, it was of old age, kidney failure, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
There were a couple of rescue lions that came out of the private sector.
Right.
They'd had their claws removed and what have you, and couldn't be kept with other lions. So
Right.
they had to be kept by themselves for the rest of their life. We knew Matumba was going to pass soon. So we went to the AZA Lion Species Survival Program and said, we're going to need more lions in about a year. Turned out to be a little bit more, and we made arrangements to take these 3 guys, 2 girls and a guy, from the Lincoln Park Zoo in Chicago.
We're going to stop on and pause on the species survival, and we'll spend most of the program talking about that. But
Yeah.
let's talk about the lion.
Oh, well, the lions are neat.
Okay.
They've been raised in captivity. They've been around for quite a while. They range in age from 5 to 8 years. You got Sahar, the male. He's out there in the center.
Magnificent maned
Very
lion.
beautiful, beautiful lion. And then you got Kaliki and Kamali, the 2 females.
Who have been entertaining us ever since we set the camera up. When those girls saw that camera, they went to performing, Bob.
Well, you know, one of the things they like is smells and things like that. So your aftershave might be
I
real
think it's just
attractive.
deodorant today, but that's all I have, Bob.
Maybe it's not working then, but anyway.
Could be. They didn't go like that when they saw me, so
No.
I'm grateful for that, Bob. Yeah.
But they're very attentive. They really know what's going on around them. And this group of lions came with their own groupies
Okay.
from Chicago. We've
right.
had people who were into them, had watched them grow up, and have been here. Several of them have
Wow.
been here to visit with them after coming.
Well, that's a great segue into the species survival program,
Right.
how this all came about. So we have talked numerous times about Rolling Hills as a place to come see things, but it's also a place that is conserving things, is preserving life, habitat, and everything within the human experience that makes that work.
Yeah, we're working to preserve those things that we've somehow messed up a little bit in the past, and we want to make them right again. This year marks the release of the new Lion King movie
Right.
by Disney. 25 years ago, when the animated version was released, there was something like 40,000 lions in the wild in Africa. Today, 25 years later, there's less than half that number
Right.
in Africa. And so we're part of a program with Disney, the AZA, and at least 250 other institutions, all promoting the conservation of lions with the goal of getting that number back to 40,000 by about 2050. And so that's what we're working towards.
That is super. You know, I think of how you actually make the public move. You know, so you have to present an idea, and they get to decide if it's valid. But we get to decide how ideas are presented.
That is correct.
And what we're looking at through the lens today, behind us, what everybody's watching, they're not looking at you and me,
That's
so
right.
they're looking. Wish you'd zoom in on the lines. What they're all saying. But what they're looking at is something that people can get a belief system about
Right.
preserving those animals in a habitat that they were meant to be.
Yep, the way we go about this is we look for things to move the heart,
Right.
get the heart beating. And once the heart is beating and the emotions are going, then the head tends to become engaged and thinks about it and what have you. And once you get the head engaged, then you can get the hand to do something.
That's right.
And that's what the goal is.
Yeah, so super. So let's stick on the lions a little bit. So tell me about a breeding program for lions. So how complicated is it to raise spread genetic material, make all the choices around all these institutions around the United States to make sure we're doing the right thing in a breeding program.
Right. Well, we've got 230 institutions that are participating in the species survival program for lions. Every lion is in what's referred to as the stud book, and it's no different than a racehorse stud book.
Right.
They know the genealogy of each lion, each male, each female. They know who's bred with whom, who's related to whom, and whatever. That all gets shoved into a computer, and then that mysterious algorithm stuff takes place that I don't know much about, what have you, and it outspews information that says, this guy needs to mate with this girl needs to mate with that guy. That has to happen in the next 3 years because then we want the male to go over here and do that and what have you. And we basically ship the lions around the country to make that happen.
Okay.
Now, these three have another aspect of the program is these three basically have contributed their genes for the next few years to that program. So the females are on birth control and they're in a holding pattern right now. But they're kind of like warehoused for the future when it'll be their time to contribute again.
So another way of saying something to the stockmen out there who are maybe tuned in to us today, you're preserving the cow herd with the females here. You're keeping them healthy, happy, and able to produce 2 or 3 or 4 years from now. That's your job here.
Right. By the same token, their offspring, something could happen. They contract a disease or whatever, they die, and all of a sudden we've got to replace those genes back in it. We take them off birth control and put them back into a breeding program. And they're right back in.
Yeah. So valuable that places like this formed from a vision like Charlie had by a guy like Charlie, and there aren't too many of those. Are here to do the science work of what you just described. So the science is interesting to scientists. The animals are interesting to everybody that sees them. But we had a special person do the work of putting that vision into reality, and you and I have talked about Charlie Walker numerous times. But gosh, anybody can come here and see this, just like you and I are doing.
That's right. You can come here, you can visit with us, and it's important to realize it's not just lions. We participate in 32 other species survival programs. The animals here take part of that, and it's also part of conservation education. And it doesn't stop with just animals. We also we recycle virtually all the plastic that comes into the zoo, what have you. In addition to that, we've just installed water bottle recharge stations
I
for water.
saw that this morning.
Yeah, water bottle recharge stations. So bring your water bottle and use the station, and that's to eliminate the huge number of single-use plastic bottles that end up in the wild. It takes 1,000 years for one of those bottles to disappear.
I'm going to give you a shameless plug. So as we walked in or waiting for you today, there's a clearance rack right there. So I walked around the clearance rack. You know what's on the back side of that clearance rack? Those water bottles. There's 6 or 8 different Rolling Hills Zoo bottles there that they can walk in and buy. If they didn't come prepared to do this, you're providing the opportunity.
Absolutely.
But that water bottling station on the old drinking fountain that we're all used to, what a great way of making it easy for people to conserve.
That's right.
That's part of what you've done with lions, but doing it for the cause of not putting plastic back in the environment is very important.
It goes through the entire operation here. We recycle all the paper that we use. We recycle newsprint. We recycle cardboard. We recycle all kinds of stuff. And we actually pay a contractor to come and pick all that stuff up and take it to the recycler.
You've hit on one of my favorite things. It's a pet peeve, but it's my favorite thing the way you've expressed it today. The pet peeve is talking about something but doing nothing.
Right.
But that's not Rolling Hills Zoo. Everything that Charlie ever talked about, he's done. You have followed that. All your entire team follows that every day.
Exactly.
But the Lion Project is that. The get rid of straws, plastic straws, is that. The water bottle.
We've done that. We actually did it 4 years before it was popular in general public. In addition to that, we've eliminated plastic shopping bags in our gift shop. You now can get a bag that you can come here, shop as much as you want, fill it up as much as you want.
As well they should.
You know, and it's a Rolling Hills bag, a recycled bag.
So I talk about economic development all the time when the camera's pointed at me. It's like a disease. I can't help myself. So let's take that bag and shop all you want, that statement you made. You're simply facilitating an easy opportunity for people to do the right thing, the mission while you're here. You're not putting walls up in front of people that no, you can't do this. That we're looking at a soda machine right there. Well, right there is the can and bottle only recycling thing.
Right.
You don't have to hold it and walk 5 miles to find the proper place to put it. It's right there.
Yep.
Seems small, but it's not small.
No, not in the long run.
These things are the same mission as the breeding program for lions.
Yes, it permeates the entire facility.
Yeah.
You know, and it gets back to Charlie Walker's philosophy: if you can't do it right, don't do it. And doing it right means taking it full stride, taking it the entire way.
So I could talk about the lions the rest of our time, but I know we should talk about the other species in the species survival program. So I need you to lead me down the walkway.
Well, we take part in the Amur tiger breeding program.
Right.
And dare I say, I hope I don't jinx myself, we have a pregnant tiger. Okay,
breaking news, Bob?
Breaking news. Maybe this week there'll be a birth, we'll see. The animals always end up doing it the way they want to do it, which is the natural way, what have you. But we believe that we have 2 kittens in the womb.
Oh my.
And so we're waiting for that to come down. We've got cameras installed, we're watching it. The keepers are walking around like this, you know, that kind of thing. So we're waiting for that to take place. Now the key here is we can't breed everything. If we breed everything, there would be no room for people.
Right.
There's heartache associated with all of this as well.
Okay.
We had a pregnant giraffe.
Right.
She lost the calf about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through her gestation.
Right.
That happens. Every rancher, every farmer knows that heartache.
Right.
They know that.
Right.
And so we have to deal with that as well. We're going to be shipping out one of our wallaroos who's going to go to another situation, and we're bringing in a new male so that he can breed with the females that we have here.
Again, promoting genetic diversity.
And working that way. We're working on breeding the other giraffe female right now.
The other female, right?
The other female. And then, again, I hope I don't jinx us, but we are part of the white rhino species survival program.
Right.
And we are anticipating receiving a female white rhino late this year, early next year, who will come fully loaded.
That is so exciting.
She'll be pregnant.
That's
the intent.
Exciting.
They're in the process of breeding the white rhinos right now where they are.
Right.
One is going to come here, one's going to go to another institution.
I read a story in International News a few days ago, maybe a week ago, about the white rhino breeding program. I don't remember where the story came from, but it was same story you're telling, just different location. But this is how we as people, humans, are helping those species survive. Those interventions, without them, probably not much future for the white rhino.
Nope. The black rhino, the northern black rhino, is now gone as a result of human intervention, if you will, that kind of thing, and what have you. But it's important to realize that there are approximately 230, 240 institutions across this country, all with the AZA label on their front door, and they're all participating in these programs as well. And so it's a broader effort than not just the zoo, but the zoo, Rolling Hill Zoo, is playing an important part in it.
How's our orangutan friends doing?
They're not friends.
Okay.
They're not friends, you know.
Do we need to get a dating service or something going, Bob?
Sometime Orang Harmony doesn't work.
Well, you know, maybe you need to give them a laptop and they can log into one of these dating apps, and you just, only put the other orangutan on there, and maybe it'll work.
Well, we'll have to see. We're dealing with that right now. But sometimes the magic doesn't work. The snow leopards are not breeding yet, but at some institutions it's taken three and a half years before the snow leopards get together. So very, very individual type animals.
Yeah. So that's all fun stuff.
Yep.
But it's so important to the future of the species that organizations like Rolling Hill Zoo do this work.
Right.
Without it, we're on a decline for many of those species that you have described.
Right.
Just unavoidable. The population in their native countries, people come up, the conservation practices there over land and habitat are not what we take for granted in our blessed country. It's just they're a different place at a different time, and the animals are the ones caught in the middle with not much choice.
Nope, they don't have much choice. But we can certainly do everything that we can on our part to do that. And to sound a little crass, the public can be part of that too. And doing something as simple as coming out for events here at the zoo. We have the 5K run this Saturday. We have Back to School Blast this Saturday, and what have you. Coming out for those. A little bit of everything they give us to come out and do these events. Pumpkin Pazoola, Zoo Brew, all these things. A little bit of that all goes into these programs and helps support them.
I think that's a great thing for us to think about and talk about while they're thinking about it behind the lens. All you have to do to contribute to the species survival program is plan a day of fun at Rolling Hills Zoo.
That's right.
If that's all you do, you have done a lot.
Come in, enjoy it, do the events that we have, participate in the education programs that we have, and then when you leave, when you go home, change one small aspect of how you live. Don't use plastic straws. Don't, take bags, reusable bags to the grocery store. Don't use single-use water containers, that kind of thing. Those little things all add up if everybody starts doing them.
All habits, good and bad, are driven by human choices. So you've mentioned some things that are very bad for the animals and the other things in our environment, including us, by the way, that we can choose to fix.
That's right.
Just by not doing something.
Right.
You really don't even have to, you don't have to go beyond yourself. Just stop doing these small things and it changes the world for you.
And it's not that big an impact on your life.
No.
When all is said and done, when you really think about it.
Yeah.
It's not that big an impact. And by doing those small things, you make a big difference.
So this isn't the only habitat that these lions will probably be in over the next 3 years. You have some other facilities, I know, because the boys used to be at a different spot. What's your plans?
We have a generous donor who has given us a gift, who will remain nameless.
Yes.
What have you, and we anticipate modifying this facility in the near future. We're in the process of just starting the design work to create what we're going to call a lion experience, where you can actually walk into the exhibit safely.
We tried to get Dave to do that this morning, and he politely declined.
Well,
not
that's
so
understandable.
politely, but he did decline.
Considering lions can run 50 miles an hour and they can climb trees as good as a house cat. So.
And I heard, no, I didn't hear, I read it in an authoritative book from the prior century that a lion can jump 12, 14 feet to gain a position
Easily.
up a tree.
Easily.
I don't think Dave could do that. So we better keep him behind the camera.
Right. What he needs to do is take someone along with him and just run faster than the other guy.
Yeah, I think you're getting me in the game, Bob. I think maybe I can outrun Dave, because the first thing I would do is step on his shoe, if that was just the way that goes. Lots of fun. We always have a lot of fun. But that I want to leave a firm impression in people's mind, the great work they can do for species survival just by coming to Rolling Hills Zoo and having a great day.
And changing one or two little things in their life.
And bring
they can
your
have
cousin.
a huge impact.
And your cousin's cousin that's visiting
That's right.
from Dakotas. This is a destination. And the best weather I think I've ever had in August at Rolling Hills Zoo, we have today.
We made it for you.
Did you? Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Treat me like a king every time I come.
Would you like to meet Leo the king?
No. Not right now. Maybe after you get the safe walkthrough thing, I'll go meet, what's his name, Sahara?
Sahara.
Is that as in the desert?
No, it's just Sahar.
Oh, Sahar.
No. Sahar.
Okay.
Very majestic male.
So, the Kalahari lions, familiar?
A little bit.
It's just a desert, right? But they're a small population still hanging on.
Yep.
And I'm just kind of saying that because somebody may Google it and go look that up and say that. But those lions depend on our efforts too. I mean, all of these things are just like this. And I run into a lot of people that go, man, I just wish I could think of something to make an impact in the world. Our point today is we'll just come to Rolling Hills Zoo and have a great day. You're making an impact in the world.
Making an impact.
Have a Pepsi, throw the can in the recycle thing. You're
Adopt a
helping.
lion. Adopt a lion.
Tell us, have you got a program?
Oh yeah, we have an Adopt an Animal program here. It's one of those things, you give a very modest amount of money, and that money goes to supporting that animal and its species survival program.
How do they sign up for that, Bob?
Go on the website, it's right there,
Right
or
there.
give me a call.
Okay, and you can adopt. I could adopt the master of Rolling Hills Zoo there.
That's right.
I'm telling you, the opportunities never cease to amaze me. Dave's given us the 2, and that doesn't mean peace, although he probably wishes us some peace. It means 2 minutes left.
Yep.
Okay, Bob. The quick rundown, lightning round. So we have 3 lions behind us, a male, 2 females, that are critical to the species survival program, and you're becoming a genetic holding place
This
for
is a
these
holding
3
facility
lions.
for these 3.
For
Right.
these 3. But the future of lions everywhere, these 3 are a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And the people at home, all they have to do is come and enjoy to be part of the critical species survival program that we're talking in front of the lions
That's
today,
right.
but you have leopards,
Leopards,
orangutan.
tigers, orangs, chimps, all of those animals. So anybody can find the animal that they're attracted to.
and
That's why we have them.
help preserve them
That is
at
correct.
Rolling Hill Zoo,
That's right.
just to the west of Salina.
So come and be a part.
There you go. Can't end better than that. Bob Jenkins, my good friend here at Rolling Hill Zoo. Always a great opportunity to highlight the important work being done, and all you have to do is to have fun to participate in it. My name's Dennis Weiss. I work for Eagle Communications. Bob and I wish you a great day.